Hello everybody and welcome back. It's me. About 18 months ago we had an account come in from Cantern brook, and it's just southwest of Cannock Chase. It's along the Severn there. Ideal area, absolutely fantastic. Lots of historical reports. And the gentleman that contacts me is now a member of the British Research Group, and he's been keeping an eye on the place since then, for the last 18 months, and making a note of any strange happenings at all. And he's also been looking at areas a little bit further out. Well, I'll get back to that more in a little minute. And it just seemed this weekend, in areas that have been quiet for a while, we suddenly have activity. And it's noticeable in Northumberland, on the Medway, in a similar area to where our researcher is in Cantern brook, and also in Scotland, and two other areas that I can't bring to mind right at the moment. But we've had sudden interaction this weekend where things have been taken and glyphs have been left, or stones have been left with certain people, or structures have suddenly appeared where we haven't had any structures before. So it seems to be we've had a little bit of a spurt of activity this weekend, so I thought I'd report on that. And use this account at Cantern brook to show you that some people can actually research right on their own doorsteps, and there's a lot of people doing that at the moment. If you're lucky enough to have a river that runs by you, or a small green corridor of woodland, or you have access to old railway lines or anything like this area, they are ideal areas to research, and even though they're very close to towns. But quite a few of our researchers in the UK only have to look out of the window to see an area where activity happens, and this is an absolute wonderful example of that. It's not that far from Cannock Chase. It's on one of the main corridors. As I say, it's on the River Severn. And I'll read you the original sighting, and then I will give you the updates that have happened over the time. So basically, this gentleman has lived in this area his entire life, and when he was a child, children would talk about the big grey hairy thing that was in the woods, and if they built dens or anything like that, this thing would make a lot of noise and frighten them away. And that happened to about at least 5 times he said that. And he said each of my friends described the same creature. A huge grey figure appeared and chased them screaming to the edge of the woods, and stood watching them from the trees. Now, they're very old woods with the remains of Saxon Mill and some large oak trees there, and the stream is some 20 metres down a steep drop. Children tend to not play down there anymore. It's not a place that people walk. It has a very strange feel to it, does Cantern brook. And as I said, this witness is now a researcher. So he said, we hear all kinds of things down there, and we tell our kids it's just the foxes, etc. But this is ongoing. Now, only last month, this is November 16 he's talking about, the noise from the woods was startling. It sounded like a high-pitched laugh or somebody screeching loudly. Having checked the area on the map, I can understand why this area is a little strange. It's on the corridor of other wildman sightings, and it has a small brook that runs into the River Severn, which is a vast area of food and resources. Many months on from this report, we have had a whole manner of strange occurrences. We've had owls whooping back and forth and screeching like never before, and that's happened on many an occasion. One night, it just went on all night in a pattern continuously. The researcher in question on 2 occasions was in the wood when loud wood knocks happened, branch snaps happened. He's been down there with the pup, and there's areas that, pardon me, the dog does not want to go into. He was down there with a friend, and the snapping of branches happened and his friend left. He was having none of it. He was out of there. And then June 2017, each night for 2 weeks, the researcher and his family were woken every night between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m. Loud screeching and animal noises and birds making a loud noise over and over and over. Then in August of 2017, we have a week of wood knocking late at night. Once again, the birds will screech and make noise most evenings in the darkest hours. There have been days when the wood has been misty almost, but not outside of the wood. And it'll be interesting to see what this area will bring over the coming months. And that's why I suggest that people keep a journal or a diary, because you will forget these things as time goes on. And it's always nice to look back and see, maybe next year or the year after, if those changes happen in a pattern, if the owl screeching happens in a pattern, if the nights that you kept awake with wood knocking and things like that, or howls of summers that we are getting, pebbles at the window, that kind of thing, just to make a note of the date and the time and what things were like, because you may see a pattern emerging. And as I say, we have this weekend noticed that a lot of areas that have been quiet throughout the summer, on the hottest months, say June, July, August, and September, have suddenly become back into life again. And where we would have thought, oh, they wouldn't be in the area because the food sources is gone, there are actual new signs going up. And that's wonderful for me, because I've never been able to note that before. And it's because we've got so many people that have joined us and this information is coming in that I'm able to note that pattern. I wouldn't have been able to do that up to last year. So I'm incredibly grateful for that, I must be honest. And I'm going to start adding the researchers' photographs that they send in to me in playlists on my channel, and I'd like to add a little bit about the researcher, if that's okay, in the area that they're researching in, just to give a little bio for people, because that's how busy we're becoming. And it's easier for me to just make one playlist than it is to share over and over again over email. And the winter months are coming, it gets harder for me in the winter, obviously, so I'm trying to do what I can to give myself, a little more time, as you'll understand. But that's all for now, and I'll be back, I would imagine, tomorrow with another update. But there's so many coming, it's unbelievable. But Isabella's journal is up, there's a new account gone up there, and as I say, we're having new stuff happening in most of the locations, so I will definitely be back at some point this weekend. And wonderful YouTube, I've banned my live feeds until January, I'm afraid. I have tried to appeal, but I've had a knockback. I don't know why. It's something to do with the fact that exposing scammers, they are considering that as I am advertising the scam. I don't know how they get their head around that, but it's all right for the scammers to have the channels up, but it's not okay for me to try and get them down. So I can't really do anything about that, because if I appeal again, I will get a second strike and I will not be able to upload. So I'm kind of walking on eggshells at the moment. So just so that I can keep myself here and keep the uploads coming, I won't be able to do any live feeds. But that doesn't mean I can't do hangouts. So if anybody wants to chat or get hold of me, I can still do the hangouts. That's fine. So I'll catch up with you again at some point this weekend. But for tonight, good night, everybody.